Hello.
Good morning and welcome back to the Chap's Guide. Now today it's about 2 weeks into the national lockdown in the UK caused by the COVID-19 coronavirus, and I've been stuck in the house working from home. I work for a British government law enforcement agency in a leadership role, so my job is predominantly working from home at the moment, and that means I've been kind of, a bit stir crazy, stuck in the house. And I thought just for today I would come out to the outdoors and work from home from my hut in the woods. I've fully complied with the government lockdown regulations to get here. This is on private land and I'm not risking anybody else at all. So fully complied with the rules, but I'm spending the day in my wilderness cabin working from in there because we've got full 4G coverage. I'm going to set my laptop up. I'm going to be just as effective working here. But as you can hear the birds singing, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I've walked up here through the beautiful nature as it's sort of coming to life. It's not particularly cold. I'm going to light the log fire in the cabin. So I'm going to have a nice day working in there, and it'll just be a different environment just to get out of the house, just for a little bit of time. And also, for lunch, I've brought my Lithuanian Army ration pack, which I've been promising to do a video on for a while. We did the British Army one a few months ago, so today's going to be the Lithuanian Army one. We're going to see what the food is like that the Lithuanians eat in combat operations. Not quite combat operations today. It's going to be having lunch in the hut, and we'll take it from there. We'll see how it goes. I'll catch up with you later when I've got myself up and running and working from home, sort of. Well, hello folks, and welcome back. So I've put 2 hours of quality work in already. It's coming up to about 9:30 in the morning, so it's time for a bit of a break. Time for a snack, time for a hot drink. So the wood burner has been keeping me lovely and warm, and I've just put a pot of hot water on to warm it up, boil it up, ready for a cup of tea or coffee. But the fact is I've no idea what's inside this little pack here. So this is a Lithuanian Army ration pack that I sourced off that wonderful thing eBay. It's all in Lithuanian, which is Greek to me. I can't read a word of it. All I can see is that it says something about 1,495 calories. And because it's in such a thick bag, I've no idea what's in there. It's never been opened. So I'm going to crack it open. I'm going to bring the camera up. You can see what's in there as I see it. And we'll see for a start what we're going to have for a snack and a drink, and we'll have an idea of what we're going to be having for lunch, because this is my working from home in the woods lunch for today. So let's have a look. Okay folks, so here we are. That is lunch and snacks for today. Let's find out what's in there. So it's quite a thick plastic bag, so I'm going to snip it open so I don't damage anything inside, and let's find out what we're having for lunch and snacks. Right, okay, so first thing that comes to sight is some rusks, whatever they are. They look like rather thick biscuits. Yeah, looks okay, looks reasonable. What else have we got here? We've got some hazelnuts. Again, looks okay, small little pack. Oh, there we go, you can see them in there. Quite a big pack actually, that's quite nice. So inside here, I imagine, is the main course. Nicely packed, to be fair. And to be honest, it all looks rather good. Oh, here we go. A tray for food heating. Okay, that's interesting. Quite how that works, I don't know. There's a little metal tray in there. I suspect this might be something to do with the heating process, because I think this little chap comes with its own heat source so that you can heat it up yourself, which is something we didn't have in the British Army ration pack. So what have we got in here? So there we go. What have we got? We have got beef stew with vegetables, that classic of all Army ration packs, wherever you are in the world. Beef stew. And what's this little fella here? And this is a flameless ration heater. Now this is something I've not experienced before. It seems that there's instructions on the back which tell me how it all works. So it's, oh, you could add water to it, so it's a chemical reaction heating system. So that'll be interesting. We'll give that one a go. What have we got here? We have got some little pack of accessories. Let's have a look. So inside here we've got the classic refreshing hand wipe. We have got the fork, or it's a spoon rather, quite a cheap spoon. We've got a small tie wrap, whatever that's for. A box of matches, let's have a look. There we go. A box of Lithuanian matches, Lithuanian language on the outside, that's interesting. What else? What's these chaps here then? I think, I'm gonna guess, yeah, they look like some sort of firelighters. So we've got a pack of 3 firelighters. It says keep away from fire, keep dry, and there's a picture of a flame on the front. What does it say? Dry fuel 30 grams. So yeah, it is some sort of firelighter. It's not the easiest thing in the world trying to navigate a foreign national's ration pack, I guess. But, you know, this one seems well put together. And what have we got in this second little bag? So in the second little bag we've got some... I do not know. I do not know. It feels like some sort of sauce. Possibly a honey or something like that. Wouldn't like to say. I'll have a look at it in some greater depth. Oh, some chocolate. There we go. We're sorted. Break time this morning is sorted. Sugar, obviously. What have we got here? I think it's citrus. Citrus vitamin C drink. Please be tea bags or coffee. Instant coffee. So 1 portion of instant coffee by the look of it. Doesn't seem to be any creamer or anything like that. So first of all, I'm going to get myself that cup of coffee, see if my milk is, my water is boiled yet on the stove, and we'll see what Lithuanian instant coffee tastes like. And a bit of chocolate, I think. Why not? Let's have a bit of chocolate. Okay, let's do it. Ooh, it's like a proper powder, not granulated. I haven't seen this for a long time. Right, I am not a fan of black coffee. I do drink it occasionally, but fortunately I've got a non-dairy creamer left over from the British Army ration pack in the hut. So as a bit of a treat, I'm going to have a white coffee. Let's see what that looks like. Whoop. There we go. And let's get into, what are these biscuits like then? So, oh, it's just a bar of chocolate. Oh, a couple of bars of chocolate. Well, when in Rome, let's give it a try. Oh, it's just about identifiable as coffee, to be honest. Yeah, good enough. Let's try the chocolate. bog standard dark chocolate, no complaints. Well, these are funny times, aren't they? We've all been locked down now for a few weeks in the UK. I've been working from home, and yeah, you realise that social interaction is a really big part of the human condition, and you miss having those conversations with people in the workplace. And for me, I do a lot of public speaking, guest appearances, conferences, things like that. That's obviously all ended. No after dinner speaking for the last few weeks, which actually I was winding it down a bit for the summer period anyway, or the spring period. But you know, for the last 10 years I've committed an awful lot of time to sort of charity speaking, so it's almost a relief to have a little bit of time away from that. But even after 2 weeks, I can feel myself feeling, you know, refreshed from that, and looking forward to speaking to people again, although it may be some time. But no, I mean, keeping the mind in a good place, I think, using the opportunity, I'm very lucky to have this space to come and work in the hut and have just a different environment. So I fully feel for people who are trapped at home, who don't have the opportunity to get outdoors very often. My wife is away, just gone shopping with my son this morning to do the weekly shop trip to the supermarket, and have given me the opportunity to get out and have a bit of a breather and a bit of fresh air. Working like this, taking this little break to have something to eat, and then at lunchtime, you know, I'll be interested to find out what a Lithuanian beef stew is like. So yeah, an interesting day. So I'll continue, I will persevere with this interesting cup of coffee and this bit of chocolate, which will take the edge off it, no doubt. And we'll catch up again for some lunch. Until then, see you in a minute. Well, that's okay. Alright folks, and welcome back to lunchtime. Now, it's the beef stew for lunch, and there is this quite unusual self-heating pad, and I'm following the instructions, which basically says open it up like that. Now place the unopened, doesn't smell of anything at all, place the unopened meal bag sachet inside that self-warming bag. Now it says add about 45 millilitres of water. Obviously something to do with a chemical reaction. And fold the bag, then give it a good shake. So I'm giving it a good old shaky, and clearly there's going to be some sort of chemical reaction which will take place. So I've now got to place that down and leave that for 10 to 12 minutes just to do whatever it's going to do. Right now, this minute, nothing seems to be happening. It doesn't seem any warmer. So I'm going to leave that in place, let it do its thing. We'll come back in 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, and I have to say the bag, most bizarre thing, it's sort of filled up with air, so the reaction, whatever's taking place inside, is bubbling away, and it's kind of inflated a bit, and I can hear bubbling, I can see a bit of steam escaping from some of the edges of that. So, and it's definitely warm to touch, so definitely work going ahead there. So whilst that's doing its thing, I thought I would have a look at the rusks and whatever's in there. So we'll find out in a minute. I will just get myself the spoon to make sure we can eat it, whatever it is. I suspect it's some sort of fluid substance. So we'll get the old rusks out, and they're going to be our side dish along with the main course, whatever it is. So let us open this fella up here and see what this is. It says 30% something, so let's have a look. And that looks very much, yep, it's honey. It's honey. Nice bit of honey. Tastes good. So you can have some honey on the rusks. In fact, we'll have that for a dessert, I think. I'll just test the rusk. Good God. They are proper tough old things. Jesus. You break your teeth on them. I got slightly I can see that the honey is necessary. They are really quite tough. They're going to be a struggle to eat, to be honest. But yeah, we'll put that to one side, and that can be for reserve. And in a minute, we'll see what the main course is doing for us. I'm going to let that bubble away, carry on its work, another few minutes. Okay, so it's had a good 10-12 minutes. Ooh, it's quite warm. So let's see what's for lunch. So as you can see, it's steaming away, and whatever was causing that chemical reaction in there has worked rather well. It's still quite hot, still generating a load of heat, so very effective. There we go. So inside there, the pad which was in there originally, I don't know if you can see that, has now swollen up, and it is generating a rather large amount of heat, so we'll leave that there just for now. Now lunch is good and warm. Let's get that out and get some nosh. Oh good God, see what she looks like. So this is beef stew, Lithuanian military style. Oh good God, a little bit different to the British Army one. Yeah, okay, right, leave that there. It's warm, it looks quite chunky, so I'm going to sit down, get tucked in. Right, so here we go. The proper test is the eating, I guess. It tastes like a really stodgy stew. Really stodgy, you know, it feels sticky. Actually, it tastes really nice. Exactly the sort of thing you'd want on a really cold day, probably in Lithuania, and easy to eat, full of energy. So I'm going to tuck into this. See you again after lunch. Well folks, there we go. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now, and I've done my, well, 9-hour shift actually. I've been here since 7 AM, and to be honest, it's not been a bad old day. You know, it's funny that just being out of the home environment, working from somewhere else, particularly here being in nature, you know, you've got the sounds of nature all around, and it's actually quite a pleasant day today. I've had a few cups of tea on the wood stove, it's kept me nice and warm. The Lithuanian Army ration pack, what's my assessment of that? Well, we started off with the British Army ration pack in the first video, and if you haven't seen that, please do go and have a look at that. I chose that one because I thought the British Army one would set a very high standard when we were going to try other ones from other nations. I have to say, my thoughts on that haven't changed. The British Army one was excellent in comparison to the Lithuanian Army one, which I think was actually quite poor. The snacks weren't very good. The main meal was okay, but you know, what can you really do wrong with a beef stew? It's some beef and some vegetables. It was very stodgy, very thick, actually quite palatable, and I imagine if you're burning a lot of energy and you're very hungry, it's something that would be welcome. But for a, you know, in a less kinetic environment, as I am now, just wanted something for lunch. I ate it. It was okay. You know, I wouldn't say any more than that. The other accessories, so the heating pad worked exceptionally well. It really warmed the food through. The chocolate I had for my morning snack was okay. The rusky biscuity things and honey, I did eat most of those, and I have to say they were the epitome of the word bland. You know, I could just as easily have been eating cardboard, but at the end of the day, I'm sure it's carbohydrate and it's energy with the honey. The honey made it somewhat palatable. I haven't eaten the nuts. I'm not really a fan of nuts, so I've left them as they are. But actually, that's all there was. So considering it's meant to be 1,600 or something calories, I thought it was not in evidence in the amount of food that there was. There was only one portion of coffee, no creamer, no tea bag, nothing at all. So a bit lacking on the drinks front as well. That ration pack cost me £9.99, bought off eBay. So actually, when you consider that the British Army ration pack was £14.50 or whatever it was, which was a genuine 24 hours of eating, I think that was far better quality, far better value for money as well. So if it was me spending my money again on a ration pack, I think I would park the Lithuanian version, and at the moment the British Army ration pack, top of my list. Now I've already got the next ration pack, I've bought it, and it's a French Army 24-hour ration pack. And on the face of it, looks quite interesting. Lots of canned goods in there, lots of pilchards or sardines or something. So it'll definitely be an entirely different eating experience again. Look forward to that one, folks. If you have enjoyed today's video, please click the like button for me so I know that you're enjoying what we do. And when you're there doing that, you just as well click the subscribe button as well, because you'll see lots of other forthcoming material we do on men's style and on self-development, and just on odd eclectic stuff like today, working from a shed in the woods during the coronavirus epidemic, and having some Lithuanian Army rations as well. You know, it's a little bit off the wall, but we try and make it interesting, not just for you, but me as well. That's life. So I look forward to seeing you in the next Chaps Guide video. Until then, I hope you stay safe, I hope you remain well, and until I see you again, take care, gents. See you then.